Mwana from them short break. No, my guest what's no film. And they delve into movies. Or homonoma. But movie biaba. Story no. Movie ni wiane to me we don't know. Them story say what kuma. On the social media boshan na chede conversation see more kodo mekai the movie acrimony. Chede most more conversations no kodo. A month for being too mumbe one kada. This is the situation I am in because one can watch a movie we too that bibi nkwaye wo hormonum. Ne too much na one be some de na them story writer them movie or show na done Pascal amanfo no movie ya or say God is African na God is African too to mu de na brentie like obana dan enwa nyo da manyama na nde yerba na ya ba bohwe into the year movie boy dan na wotum watch story na ma wotum no o impact nipa na abrabo de me oya na why de mo obi na abrabo pepepe no goda to sene do pepepe how are they able to put these things together and are they bia washe no obi luko bi ma no odinyo show ya na or the pen ekesi krata do also watch ro ono hu komo na ye bebezi wa and then me James Clark James akwa
Minyaba
akwa bi ya boko
radinadum
ye da nyamias
na me pese meko abakwase mu
ye bre no
ko abakwase
enyo madase
Friday me ba no mama abakwase
Neru and Kofi Nunes.
Hi.
Kofi is an actor or a script writer.
Yes, a story writer.
A story writer.
Yes, please.
Mumuakwa Bibiu. Answer Namuru, what is the difference between a story writer and a script writer? Is a script not also a story?
It's also a story, actually.
Okay.
So they are in the same line.
Nina the same
yes,
line.
Please.
So actually a trust script or so. Okay. James, Mama Shase. You are also an actor.
Oh, a script writer is. Script writer. A story maker.
I want to
so you want to come to the performer?
We all performers actually.
If you're a performer, you can equally write.
Yes.
So I'm starting with a performer.
Well,
I for sure, but for I want to James, may I sure there in your career as an actor, one more story CB. A story no bi o wode mo wan ehu de no dam story do bodo echi ibi so ho wode mo wan ehu ni ti ehu nan there is not really a connection and to them ye can say no as a performer you also have that talent of also writing in your opinion abba zedam na omo writers wotum what short stories are people find it so easy to relate to?
So, Abamedo as Madam Timas, like you asked, when you have a plain sheet that you start putting stuff together, so you create a story in your mindset, then you look at characters that you want to work with, or what we call you foreshadow, you picture the characters, how you want to create your characters, and then you put them together. You put it together, you list them, and then as the story going, when you say what the ajwa bebam, what the kwesi beba, what the mama beba, what the mpuna beba, the beba, into what she shana wokwa, then you keep putting them together. Now, when you complete and you have your script or your main story, you put it together. Why free show producer, whatever, what put it here. Then you go on set. Now, as a performer, when you give me a script, the first thing I'm supposed to ask is my character. Nipa na odina mamia or story ni na o friend ebia James Clark no. James Clark or a wine.
Okay.
What kind of story? Now I don't say James Clark or a CID and now or a police officer. But the CID or what type of CID is he? What kind of police inspector is he? You need to find out those things first. Now you have to get into the story. Who and who is the police officer or the CID going to pursue? Obi okra police officer no. Onko chip crom for. Onko chip drug baron bia. Ebia police officer or nene yere nene ma. Ewo problem.
Okay.
Police officer and the boss suppressing no. Our person ya de pa and the boss suppressing no. And no confuse so akatua bia e delay we adwuma mu say Ghana normally salaries delay sometimes into no akatua na ne pay ni so into oba no so waware no e demand more. Now ne ba so enye just a toddler but e bia ne ba was secondary school ne be chesi boy bi and as an officer or a inspector or a CID no then he has the power into no adwuma mu no e be mu so address ya wakọ adwuma kama but to do adwuma mu a obre oba fie no so aka oba gina hom ya beji anije no e ho so pressure wo ho now ne ba girl enso e di se bi ensanfu abontin it also show the muscular position as a father and also use a bit of his position as a police officer or a CID to also interrogate and also look out for the girl. Into who as a performer no see the script in the mouth. No one dive deep. Now for see a mammy script, he has me a father and a CID or a police inspector and I'm going to work her. That's why you see people working or performing, but you don't see the real facial expressions, the emotions that you need to attach to the character to make it more realistic and more viable and more interesting for the viewer to also feel glued and attached to the story. What I say. So every performer needs to interrogate the character given him. Sometimes when some of us were into acting or were acting, we had directors, continuity personnel, what we call technical directors on set, artistic directors on
Line
set
directors.
that you relate to.
Okay.
Someone like Ifeanyi Nyabo, may he so rest in peace. You understand? Roger Cote, Frank Raja, Pascal Amanfo, Enoka, currently Fifi Gabin, Justin Kebentu and Co. When you are working with them and you are open or you believe in your craft, you need to talk to them. Director, the script you are giving me, the role, the character, saying our panel. My kind story, no Matthias here. Even sometimes your dressing needs to look different as a character. Your police officer be upper life. Your police officer be Natadia onto so. It was Sanya man on the bed put into the act.
Okay.
Amount performance na akoye. Like one of my movies I'll never forget that got me up there like Her Excellency. I had just like 30 seconds or 25 seconds scene, but it was all over. What I say because I had the opportunity of playing the role with Jackie Appiah, Jackie Appiah, Majid Michel, and then Kasum Sinari in one particular scene. What I say as a CID, because I have lived with police officers and other things. When I was given the role, immediately 20 people have tried, but they couldn't make it. But when I took up the script, I was like, oh, director, this thing, you don't need all those lines. I could use my facial expression to get you what you want. If you may rehearse it, of course, let's go. And you say, Obi true story, and yet there, and yet fair. Every story writer meant well. Obi obefa pen and paper ato, I used to say, oh, true story, no. What Jenny Aqua Chidi, your story be okra sub you, oh, tra. Me, I have a book when I read the book, no. Me, who for it? Yes, so I had to call the script, the writer, to tell the writer.
Romantic.
Hey, romantic. And to me, kind of, if you have no issue, I'm me who shame because I'm a performer. Everything I do, since I can make her say, I feel some good bumps on me because I'm in character. So, it is a book, no.
James, maybe so question. Maybe so question. Maybe so no character. Maybe so no papa.
These are people I work with, and they gave me. They will open up. Directors are not monsters. Directors are not crazy. They want their scripts interpreted in the right way.
That's it.
But some of the young actors that are coming or that have come through TikTok and Facebook and this Instagram and your iPhones and stuff, when they pick things on their face and they do their makeup and director sees them, so beautiful girl, let's play. I want to shoot with you. And then they go, they perform one or two, they call themselves actors. They are not. Because we watch movies and we see that this performer, he or she was supposed to go extra mile. Why will Jackie Appiah still stay relevant and still make it? Why would Nadia Buhari take a leave and come back after 5-7 years and she'll still make a mark? Why would someone like Majid Michel will go so many years and come back and make a mark? Exactly. Why would John Domelo will go and we have Prince Davis Osei, we have James Gardner, we have few others, but they've not been able to catapult and overshadow what the predecessors did. You understand? Every character, someone like Aditya Anand, he has a unique way of acting or performing. But you see, the directors and the script writers in Ghana, when they are writing, they don't create or foreshadow the character before they write. It is just a few. Maybe 1 or 2 or 5. But look at the masses directors that we have. It is a one foreshadow and casting that character no, and sign one script here. Then you need to do proper casting. And they don't have time doing proper casting. When they want to do casting, they want to do casting with their friends, their girlfriends, sisters, their girlfriends, brothers, their relatives,
James,
school,
baby,
partners. No, I cannot mention names, but you watch movies.
Sister,
yeah, movies now. When we are watching the movies, we see them. You see a character that you can see that, come on, this role was bought.
Until them not say nipa no or a movie no. Na say ne acting no nkwe ya no che dey bia director ne gela and a producer.
Let me tell you, no director wants to do a fiasco movie.
No director wants to do a fiasco movie. Coffee Newnes. Give me your point of view as a story writer.
Okay, to just take it from where my brother landed.
James Landino.
Actually, as a story writer, every story writer have a perception, or I may say there is a motivation that comes to him before he puts something down on a blank paper. So from the story writer to the director, they both first sit, read thoroughly through the story before moving on casting. When I pick a character A, what is the age of character A? What motivates this character to do this at this time? Then I come. Who outside this paper do I think that will play this role? What is my personal motivation about this person? Why do I think that he or she fits into this character? If finally the director or the casting director casts out or casts in someone that he or she believes can play this role, it is now the responsibility of this very actor to read and understand the story. James mentioned something, that if a character or as a performer, if you don't understand a story, how to materialize it or make it believable becomes a problem. And a very good director or a producer would not go in for such a performer.
Okay.
You must understand the story, know how to interpret the story, and make it believable. Because every story writer wants the story to be believable.
Okay.
If a story is not having this motivation to 10 people around, to make people believe this, because there are stories that are life story. It is not something that you predict or you just imagine and write. They are life story. People live in this. So to have someone that can live in the footsteps of another, he or she must really understand what that person was in the story. The role of that person, how he lives. So you can see some actors on your screen, just as he rightly said, from the onset, you know that no, if I should have this story, I won't go this way. You can define from the way the person is moving around. You will surely know that no, you are not doing the job. And some of these things come from these casting directors.
Okay.
Yes, the way they cast. Oh yeah, this person is so close to me. Director, I think this lady will do. Just
No,
because
what's
he or
an
she
actual-
got a fame out of TikTok, Facebook, within a twinkle of an eye. But no, you must have what it takes to interpret a story. If you don't have these, I'm sorry, to you, you may think that you are doing something. No.
My members are some. Damaji, it's one of the, sometimes some Ghanaian movies don't look attractive to me because most of the time the scenes, it is so unrealistic.
Exactly.
Things about gatemen and how they relate to their bosses and people who come to the
Visitors,
house.
yeah.
Visitors who come to the house. Eboshene movie be gate man no tumi nye ne boss. Onye ne kasa rough. No way to no boss asam. And mudjo no ho medeba real life. I ask myself, him fana ma kwa me hu gate man na obotum we gina no boss ninyim. No onye na kasa dey. So if we are talking about interpreting scripts well by performers, and we are talking about casting directors, casting right people for the role,
Yeah.
and story writers writing stories that they believe, it's not just imagination,
No.
but something that people are actually going through in real life.
Yeah.
Where would you put them characters? No?
Scenario, no?
Those security people that act like talk anyhow.
Anyhow.
Where would you put them? Is it the characters who interpret the story in that way? Is it the story writer who projects those characters as that? On your comic, that thing,
Yes.
I don't see it as comic.
Yes.
Mimpede may use comic. Another or a casting director. No, one funny day, 1 year a day, more on sir, 1 year no, Uncle Canadian and chair no boss. Oh no, how do you come by that?
Oh, okay. So when we come to roles like this, first I mentioned that understanding of your character is very, the character is very, very important. And then before you, or after you pick the story, the first person to contact is your director. Director, I've read the story. This is my understanding of it. But may I understand the mind or the reason behind the writers, or may I know the writer's idea? How best or does it think that this character can be interpreted? Is it comic or what? If it is not, that very gate man, what kind of gate man is he? How did he get the job over there? Is it from an institution well trained? Or is just a family member who, quote unquote, has nothing to do and then, oh, let me just employ him to be working in my house. That gives him the privilege to talk to the boss anyhow. So we have types of gatemen. Those that come from institution, security institution, won't just go to anyone's home and talk to the boss anyhow. So you need to understand the type of security man or gate man that person is. Then you can interpret the story very well.
I see.
Okay.
James,
so let me just do an add up to prior to this one. He talked about the casting directors and the rest. Now, this is what I have to say on that. It is not every casting director that is not good.
Okay.
It is not every film director that is not good.
Okay.
But our situation is favoritism.
Okay.
You understand? The casting directors and the directors, they know their jobs. But they forget to know that the job is a professional job.
Great.
You are doing something for the international market, but not for yourself. So what they tend to do, they tend to favor people which they are not supposed to.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, let's say, Abba, if you're having an interview, because I've been coming on your show regularly, and I come on your show and you say, oh, James, we are coming up with a new show, but I want you to be a regular guest on that show. But we are interviewing almost about 10. We're picking just 3. Because you know me, if you really know, I am not related to counseling. and the show is about counseling, why then do you consider James? You don't have to.
Okay.
Favoritism, friendship, likeness, brotherhood,
Exactly.
sisterhood is the things killing our industry in terms of casting and character traits. So when it comes to character traits, it has to be the director. Me, I keep saying when we were performing with some directors, they interpret the story to you. They tell you how to move. If you don't do that way, you have to do a take again. You prepare yourself. Imagine you are acting in a scene with someone like Koffi Adjololo, Majid Michel, Jackie Appiah, maybe John Domelo, and you are the novice, the new cast within this team. You need to go extra mile to reach their targets.
Exactly.
If not, after the performance, they could tell the director, oh, this guy made us suffer. Sometimes we want the best out of all of us. You understand? Now, when it comes to how we cast security personnel, I may say we have different types of scripts. So the hilarious, the glamorous, the fantasies, the different kinds, before you have the family, you know, different kinds of stories. But like the director or scriptwriter just said, who did the casting? What was interpreted to the character?
Okay.
And when you did the first take, looking at your storyline, the girlfriend, the mother, the auntie, the uncles, that visits your house in your absence, whereby you have told the security guard not to let anybody enter your house. For him, he has been watching movies. People don't learn the predicament of performance or acting. So when you don't learn the rudiment of acting, you watch people's movies and you would like to interpret a role, a character giving you the same way others are doing.
Okay.
But if you understand your job, like he said, sometimes the continuity personnel, they don't even understand the script. Someone is doing continuity, and per what some of us know or understand on jobs, when you're on set with them and you yourself, you make an error and you want to tell them, they'll tell you it's okay.
Exactly.
Oh.
And when you continue, then the next job, they will tell the director or the casting team not to cast you because you come and you challenge. But you have learned the job. There are directors now. I respect all directors I have worked with, but we have worked with some quack directors too. There are people that have followed Q, that have been around Q for some time. Maybe he was doing sound for like 2 years, 3 years, and he decides he has been on set for several years. Now he wants to pick up directorship. So Abba sees him, oh, we've been on set several times. I have a job. I can't pay Pascal amount for maybe that huge sums of money. Charlie, let's do something on our own. We can make it. Then you come. Recently, I went on set and I see my co-performer that I worked with him like 10 years ago on set directing me. Fine, I was good. I was happy he has taken up the job, but I saw a lot of shortcomings. And when you complain, because I will perform, I knew my continuity, I knew where I fell short. In my next take or take 2, take 3, if I want to tell him, boss, in the first shot, I said this. But my second shot, I fell short of one line. And in the next take, I would love to do it. He will say, it's okay, let's go.
It happens.
So this is and when you complain 1 or 2, they will tell the team, Charlie, this guy, when he comes on set,
he complains.
We want the best. So this is why you see some of the gate men going out of order. Last but not the least, some of my so-called account performers, the directors say action and they go to sleep. Directors says action and they go to sleep. Because so can action or you say acting. It will be actors or better say for any cat. But in the script, did the script writer narrated the scene, Adjoa coming to the gate, James, the gate man, meeting Adjoa, telling Adjoa, Papa is not there, boss is not at home, so please you can go back. Then the actor leaves the police, he takes the police out, and say, Papa is not at home, James is not at home, go. So immediately you omit the please.
Much the worse.
It becomes a different line.
Altogether.
Because if I'm a gate man and Abba, you comes to my house and I say, oh, my boss is not at home. Please, you need to go back. If you are the girlfriend and you insist, I have to continuously saying, please,
You have to
for
go
the
back.
respect I have for you, please, my boss is not at home. Please go. But if I omit the please, to be a Abba, my boss, go. My boss no day, go. My boss is not at home, go. You get furious because of I did not use please.
The word please.
Physically,
The
personally,
tone
you
na
get
zedze
furious.
kasa ni
Yes.
So
nyinaa.
you also come back with a different line. You don't respect. And in a film, in a scene whereby everything is not well structured, immediately I realize that you want to overshadow me. I'll also come up with a different word, which is not part of the script.
No, kyerɛ ho ankasa no waayɛ
And
wɔ
then the
script
crew
foforɔ
will
wɔ
be
hɔ
there
nom
altogether.
a.
Yes. And the crew, let me use the word some, and some of the crew will be there and you'll be laughing because, yeah, we are getting at each
It's
other.
going on. You've deviated
Have
from
you
the story.
forgotten that
Long time.
We are preparing a content to sell to the outside world. You understand? So if I want to say, Abba, I love you, okay? And I come, you, I love you. Abba, I see you for road. I love you. You understand? And I see you and I say, Abba, I always see you on the street. You pass by and I go gaga. Abba, please, I love you. You see the difference? Someone will come and say, hey, girl, I love you. You don't pass my roadside. I don't love you, keke. Then you start to do, you know that thing. They start to do that thing. And they just go, you love who? You love who? Are you my type? I mean, I'm not your type.
Na wɔasesa
But you are like the tie in my area. I used to hold the tie now. You see, so then the whole story changed. So you see that a love story that is supposed to come with emotions and other things, then it becomes a bit of hilarious.
But then, Kofi,
Abba.
in all this, in the misinterpretation of
Yes.
story, representation of characters, Oyana, a story writer no wahemfa. On nipa no otwere no story no onyim that this is not how it's
You
supposed
not
to
be on
be.
set. In
Oyana
Ghana.
wahi.
Mostly in Ghana, when it is screen, most story writers are not there. Mostly it
Otwere
happens.
story na was a man
Yes.
na hono woko.
Yes. Mostly
Okay.
it doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
But when it is staged,
On it wo.
yes, and most writers to stage, they are always there. And most of them too are the same people directing the story.
But
just
just
a little.
why them sisi ya asesa na
But
akobro.
just director, let me add just this little. The one can hear no cry. But at the same time, let me applaud somebody like Shirley Frimpong Manson. You know, most of the
Oh.
scripts
She does
say,
amazing,
"Otoya
yeah.
Krana."
This
She will
woman is
do-
amazing.
Yeah,
She
she
will
does
do
amazing.
some of
job.
Yes.
Yeah.
changes and other things.
Yeah.
Peter Sedufia.
People like that.
Normally, some of them they write. They are even.
You
their
even
own
meet
story,
them
or they put
on
a
stage,
team
like
together.
on set
Or
shooting.
BBS.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Leila Johnson. We have good directors around. You understand? Omono soto story no krana. Obeye omissions ni additions ni ade. But obeye no with a team. You understand? I love it when I work with somebody like Juliet Ibrahim and Selassie Ibrahim. You work with them, whether they bought the story or they were part of the script writing. Mostly they are on set. And they make sure the directors or the crew they get understands how to interpret what they want.